afternoon, good day, and good evening, good morning from depending on the part of the country or the world you are watching from. Welcome to the bonus and offboarding session of the Jobs in Agriculture, the Kitovu Jobs in Agriculture. You are highly welcome, 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 welcome. Please feel free to use the comment section. It's all yours, it belongs to you. So quickly, welcome to the offboarding and the bonus session of the Kitovu Jobs in Agriculture. We're going to be embarking on a very, very beautiful and awesome session today. It's going to be a full package. It's going to be a session for lessons, and it's also going to be an interactive session. So get ready to use the comment section. Everything that you type in, whatever question you have, whatever inquiry you need to, make, just make use of the comment section extremely well. Yeah, so quickly before we start, we'll do we want to just there have been some lots of testimonials about how the job in agriculture has really impacted a lot of people. We'll be having a lot of feedbacks, we'll be having a lot of emails with regarding the mentorship, because the jobs in agriculture offers a mentorship opportunity to all those that are part of the cohort, and even indicate interest. We don't just pick anybody, you have to indicate interest, and you have to also have met the criteria for your certificates, because it has been a lot of impact in the agricultural sector. So it has been impactful, so much from finances to organization to operation to the great opportunities that are in the agricultural sector, both in Nigeria and Africa, and even what can be implemented all over the world. So, just for some minutes, I'll be inviting one of us to give you a brief recap of the mentorship session. The mentorship, those that are interested in the mentorship, there's just going to be just a little introduction to guide you on what is in store and what you have to benefit, what you stand to benefit to be part of this great session of the mentorship. So without wasting much of our time, we'll be inviting our able Mr. Adebola Adedotun to handle that quickly. You are highly welcome, sir. To handle that quickly. You are highly welcome, sir.
Good evening, good afternoon. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you perfectly well, loud
Can you
and
hear
clear.
me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I will be uh, talking briefly on the mentorship program that okay, thank you. So I'll be going briefly on the mentorship section that we have prepared for this end of this training to be ending today. So we'll be expecting the application, to be submitted. The email you are going to submit it to is going to be available, I think, in the chat box there. So um, kindly take note. The mentorship program is more about holding you by the hand till you are able to set up your business. So we have going to give more details services while the training was going on. So, but in this mentorship section, it's going to be more detailed. So, um, there's going to be a general class that will give a broader view of what every sections would hold. Um, and after which you will be given the opportunity to choose which of these services you want to be offering to small older farmers and be making um, money from it. So um, the first thing you have to do is to apply first. Then we would send information on when the overview would, when it will happen, but it will be around the first to second week of January. So it's going to commence at this period as the training, going to be for just a few days, and after which we'll hand you over to uh, a product owner that will take you all through the journey till you'll be set up to start your own business. Thank you. So if you have any question, you're free to ask. Maybe just chat me up at the chat option on your screen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. So please, if you have any question regarding the mentorship, please do well to drop your questions on the chats, on the comment section, and we will immediately handle it. So without wasting much of our time, we are going to be heading into what we have for today. Today we'll be getting to know, we're having someone with us, a business development manager for the Kitovu technology company, someone that has actually played a very, very vital role in developing the business of the Kitovu company, and even in other aspects of business, and has a very, very beautiful portfolio when it regards to business. And she'll be teaching us on the sources of funding for agricultural setup. How can you get funding for your agricultural setup? Because this is one major um, challenge many startups are having. How do I get funding? How do I source funding? How? I have this idea, but I don't know how to implement it because of money, because of funding, because of capital, because of, yes, in generally money. You need money to do a business, whether you like it or not. You need money. There's no two ways about it. There's nothing else you want to say. You need money. So quickly, without wasting much of our time, I would love to welcome Ade Yeye Olarike. Ade Olarike to tell us more and educate us on how you can source fund as an agricultural setup. Welcome, Ma. Welcome, Ma. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Mr. John. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So let me just introduce myself again. My name is Olari Ike, and I am the business development manager for Kitovu Technology Company. So I'm happy to be here. Mhm. I am I'm so honored to be here to share our knowledge and experience with you. Okay, so I think I'll just start right off, and I'll start with a bit of, I'm going to be touching because we have had a series of lectures before now. So I'll be touching a bit of reminding us of some salient points of other lectures we have had that is of importance to what I want to share today. Okay, so I guess we all know that when we're talking about agriculture these days, it's not just about primary production. It's not just about planting or raising animals. It's now into agribusiness, you know, from post-harvest management to there's even information management in agriculture, right? There are some people that have carved a niche for themselves in sharing information with timely information with us other farmers or other players. There is also processing, food processing, even transportation, logistics in the sector, right? And then we have different stages, different stages of your agribusiness. Are you a startup agribusiness? Are you just starting out? Right? I'm sure there are a few of us that are just starting out. We just want to start the business. Or have you been in the business for, according to official definition, if you've been in business for more than 5 years, you have, according to some sources, you have passed the startup stage. You are now into the growth stage. Yeah, you are like, you're now like growing. You have had some of your processes down, some of your, like, you already understand the market in which you are playing. You are now in the growth phase. You already have, you are most likely have already a product market fit. You already know what you are doing, what the market wants from your products, from you, and everything like that. So you are in the growth phase. You are okay. We are sure this is what you are doing. You're no longer like experimenting. You just need is to like, to scale, to offer your product to more people, to a larger market, right? So, or are you at the establishment, I mean, what they call it, at um at the expansion stage, like you've grown, you're now solidifying and consolidating yourself in the market, right? Now, okay, so the next thing is, depending on each of the stages that you have, your funding needs, your capital needs is going to be different. The people you are going to be looking at to fund your needs is going to be different. The process towards that is going to be different. What those people that want to fund your your business, what they are going to be asking for is going to be different. How you are going to approach them, this part of what I want to cover. Okay, so another topic, another chapter there is understanding the capital landscape. Are you?
All right, thank you very much, Ma. Sorry for the break. Thank you very much. I'm sure you got a lot of value from that. We're going to be having some questions. There are some questions that are on ground, some very, very important questions. It's going to be very, very interactive. So get ready to enjoy yourself. It's going to be very, very interactive. Well, thank you very much, man. The questions have rolled in. The questions have rolled in. The questions have rolled in. So we want to start. The first question we have here, we want you to help us. Can you please give us a brief overview of the types of capital we have? When it comes to business, we're hearing about capital, funding. Are there types of capital that we really need to know about with regards to business and agricultural setup? Hello, Ma, can you hear me?
Get that?
Did you get the question?
No, please.
Okay, okay, the first question is since we are talking about capital, source for funding involves capital. Can you give us a brief overview of the types of capital we have? Capital we have. Is there, can you give us just a little brief overview on the types of capitals we have?
Okay, the types of capital. Um, mm, okay, let me start with this. Let me start from here. Not all capital is formal. Like not everything is formal. Like not, you don't have to, not every fund or like those formal say that you can have informal, you can have access to capital informally from your family, from friends, even from your own personal savings, right? From acquaintances, from referrals, like a friend maybe you spoke with the other person and refer you, like making an introduction. Okay, this is my friend, and she's into this business, and we would like to have some help, and then like that. So there is personal savings, there's family and friends. You could also crowdfund. There are some platforms now, not even necessarily technical platforms. There are some like your own cooperative platform. It's platform where they do a crowdfunding. There are some bodies like that. There are some societies that you join that do some funding for their members. So you can have access to capital through crowdfunding. You can have cooperatives, and of course there are the formal ones: the banking, the loans, the bank loans, the venture funds. You can also get government grants, right? There are some. I know in Nigeria the government is giving some grants to people that fall into a particular criteria. There are also investors. There are angel investors that could um, that could provide some capital for your business. Okay, so while we're waiting for Mr. John to come back, I'll just quickly discuss the
I'm here.
pros and cons of this funding source. Oh, you're back, Mr. John.
Yeah, I am. No, but you can go ahead, ma. You can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Oh, okay. So let's quickly discussing the pros and cons of this different funds. I'll just quickly group them into the formal ones and the informal ones. The informal ones, of course, being people you know one on one before you have a relationship with, in your community, in your in this cases, the the conversation to for you to access funding is usually very informal, right? You just walk up to them and be like, you try and explain what your ideas are, what your needs are. Then you try to assure them, okay, I need this fund. I'm going to use it for this business, and this is going to be the returns, and this is going to be like, you try and assure them of what your plans of repayment is going to be like, right? It's the advantage of that is that level of stress, a low level of stress. You're not because of course you are speaking with somebody you have a personal relationship with before, so you are more likely comfortable speaking with them versus being in a stiff environment, the formal environment of speaking with a bank or a loan officer in a bank, or a VC office or something like that. So that's like one of the advantages of that. uh, but the disadvantage of that is that you might not be able to raise a lot in that that kind of setting. You might not. Of course, there are some people that have raised a lot of money, like a very large amount of money. Let us take, for instance, the story of, I think, was it Jeff Bezos that had, is it 250 by his mom? It's a lot of money. Your mom decide to fund your business idea, it's a lot of money. But there is a very large possibility of getting a lot of money in your informal relationships, right? Whereas with bank, you can have access to a larger amount of capital. The difference between both is that with the informal sources of capital, you might have some flexibility in repayment terms. When you have um, maybe issues for your repayment, you might be able to negotiate and secure some flexibility. Important disadvantage is that if you should have issues, it SARS your relationship. Money is a very important thing thing in relationships. Well, so when you it SARS your relationship, right? But with bank, they could go if you don't pay back, they could go legally against you, declare you might have to declare yourself bankrupt and sort of things like that. So yeah, so we should have that in mind depending on the channel or you want to take to secure your capital. So thank you,
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. That's very powerful. I just wish somebody
Mr.
would just
John.
wake up. Yes, man, I'm here. I just wish somebody just wake up one morning and just tell me, I have
Yeah, I'm
1 million.
saying that you can take over.
Yeah, somebody just wake up one morning and tell me, you can hear me, right? Yeah, someone just wake up one morning and tell me, I have 20 million naira for you. You can do any business you want to do. That would be so awesome. All right, quickly. Ma, we still have one other question. Someone have been asking, how do you develop a business plan? How do you develop a business plan? And also, looking at probably we just add the two questions in one. How do you develop a business plan and have a financial projection towards that plan? So can you just quickly just in some minutes, how can someone develop a business plan? Because the truth is that without a business plan, many it'll be hard for you to source funding from organizations, even from banks. You actually let me see your business plan. That has been very difficult for a lot of businesses. They don't have a business plan. They don't even know how to start up with a business plan. So please, Mike, can you just briefly just let us know how um, someone can, a startup, an agri startup can, develop a business plan for their business.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
excuse me. Okay, so a business plan does not have to be like absolutely formal. Many times when people say, "What am I going to write? What am I going to say? How am I even going to start?" But a business plan is, like I said, you can be approaching, you can be looking for funding via the formal routes or the informal routes. So put your mind at ease. I am going to approach a business plan from an informal route. The same way you would go to maybe your brother or your sister and be like, my brother, I want to do this business, right? You name the business, you name the sector. Let me use a very simple one, and I'll move forward from there. Let us say you want to own a milling, like a mill, maybe a grain mill, where you thresh grains and then you mill it or you grind it or whatever. And you are going to come to your brother and be like, my brother, I want to have a grain mill. And I am going to need a number of machines, right? And maybe over time, I might have to employ one or two people to work with me. I need, they are selling machines for this amount of money. And I want to buy two of those machines, a thresher and a grinder. Then you say the amount both of them are going to be. Let me use let me just hypothetically, let me use 100,000 naira for a thresher and 100,000 naira for a grinder. So that is 200,000 naira, right? So 200,000 naira for the machines. You are going to need a space for the factory. Let us say they are you want to rent a space for 10,000 naira per annum. That's 210,000, right? And then you say 6 months down the line, I'm going to need help, and that person will be collecting this amount of salary. That is a business plan. And then you say, okay, so once I start up, once I get the machine and I start to work it, I can expect to have say one customer per day because I've just started. Then after a month, I'm going to start getting referrals and I can start expecting minimum of two customers per day. That is, you're already doing your financial projections. If one customer comes in per day and I grind 10 kg of maize, they are going to pay me this amount of money. Then you do the multiplication per day, per month. And then when I have two customers and they are bringing me this amount of grains to thresh, I'm going to collect this as my charges, and then I have this. So this it gives you this is you're already developing your business plan, even though you've not written it down. You're just like trying to explain it to someone, right? In your business plan, you also have your market analysis. Okay, I want to have my shop in this area. In that area, there are just two other people that are doing this grinding that I need to do. And in many cases, they usually have queues in front of them, which shows that these two people cannot serve the entire market. That is the market analysis. For operational plans, I've just mentioned something now that um, you you were talking about a staff. You're going to employ a staff 6 months down the line, and then after 6 months, after 6 months you employ one person, and then maybe after 3 months you want to employ another person, and this is how you are going to be running. You're going to need fuel or electricity to run your engines, and then you are going to service them maybe once a month. That is your operational plans. For financial projections, that's what I just said. Now you're going to have an initial capital outlay of 210,000 naira. Remember, 200,000 naira for the machines, 10,000 naira for renting of space, and maybe let us just say 10,000 naira for miscellaneous as running cost until your first customer starts to pay. So your first customer is going to come in like you have projected, one customer per day. That is like an average or a worst case scenario of one customer per day. And one customer per day, which is also equals to an average of maybe 10 kg of maize per customer. So that means 10 kg per day. And then if you are collecting maybe 500 naira per kg, that is 5,000 naira per day. So that is your financial projections. You can do your multiplications across, and you'll be like, okay, if I'm owing you this money, I can start to repay you by the second month. So that is your financial projections. You can have your income statements, your cash flow, how they are paying, how you are paying for your utilities, how you are buying fuel. When you start to have staff, how you be paying your salaries and like that. Now, there is also a very important part of a business plan, which is risk assessment. Hmm. What happens when if you're using electricity for your engine and then there is a surge? If you are using fuel and you mistakenly buy the wrong fuel or something, or you buy the wrong oil and something happens, or while you are working with the engine, there was an accident, these are risk assessments. Then you are going to put in the plans of how do you make sure this does not happen? How do you make sure this does not happen? So this is you this these are the different this thing that I've just said now. If you can put it down on paper, that is your business plan. It's not something so complicated or anything. If you can put this on paper, that is your business plan. Thank you. Mr. John, are you there? Okay, so while we wait for Mr. John, okay, he's back. Mr. John, you can go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Thank you very much for that beautiful exposition. Just quickly, still on these stuff, based on having a business plan, can we also know how one can have a financial projection towards this business plan? How can one have a financial projection towards his business plan?
Okay, so financial projections, like I said, is I think this Miss Evelyn did touched a bit on this last week in our lectures. So I guess if you are not in class last week, you might need to find the record and listen to it again. Yeah, so your financial statements is like I just explained. What do you expect to be the cash flow day in, day out? What are you basing it on? Okay, one customer has 10 kg of maize using I'm still using the examples I was using before. As 10 kg of maize, and then if I collect this amount of money, and then you multiply it per week, then you multiply it per month. What do you think the outflow is going to be? That is the cash inflow that I just explained now. What customers are bringing. So, what do you think the cash flows are going to be? So, you have to understand your statements, and you have to make it realistic. Don't. And then when you are making financial projections, please work with the worst case scenario. Always work with, like, even if you are very sure you have been in this business for some time, maybe you have been a staff or you're working with someone, and you are sure that, using the example I've been using, it, you can have 5 customers in a day and each of them will bring 50 kg. That's 250 kg, like, right? Work with a worst case scenario. Use what if you have just 2 customers? What if each of them just come with just 7 kg? What happens? So that gives you a realistic financial projections, not that you over project and then you under deliver. So then determine the amount of capital needed and the purpose. You have to be clear. You cannot go to someone and say, please, I need 200,000 naira. Of course, the first question they are going to ask you is for what? So be very sure of what you need the money for. Go to the market and ask the what the prices of what you want to buy her for. Do not, some people, maybe because they if I don't know how to explain it, right? If you have access to a lot of money, and then they said somebody comes to you and say, oh, I can give you 500,000 naira, and what you need is just 200,000. Don't be tempted to go over what you need. Just just take what you need and use them judiciously. Then when you need more than that, you can go back. Then craft a compelling funding request letter. So if you can explain your conviction in the letter you're writing, the person that's reading the letter is going to also be compelled to advance the capital to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you very much. Um, Still on this funding and capital, sourcing funds and capital and all. How can one pitch to investors? Because this pitching thing, I always said pitch is to me is like a skill. It's like a skill, and many people don't know how to pitch to investors. You might have financial projection, you might have the business plan, but they don't know how to present it to these investors. How do they present it that will be touch the make the investors emotional to release their money, because investors don't release money anyhow. So please, can you help us know how can we you know pitch to these our investors?
Okay. Um yeah, when people say pitch, you feel like, hey, oh, what am I going to say? But talking to your brother for asking your brother for a bit of cash for your business idea is also pitching. So many people said pitches should be short. Yeah, that is true. So one of the things I've found that works for me is to state the result of your pitch up front. State your objective up front. Oh, okay. If you need money for, you want to start a granary, like I said, like a milling factory or a grain mill. Let's say, please, I'm going to need 210,000 naira to start a grain mill. That should be like your first sentence immediately you finish all the small talk, hey, good afternoon, and all of that. Like make it short, make it immediately. I need 200,000 naira or 210,000 naira to start a grain mill. So if I have this 210,000 naira, I am going to use 200,000 naira to buy the machines, a thresher and a grinder. Then I'll use the remaining 10,000 naira to get a space. Then you go on from there. So make your first sentence attention grabbing. Give a clear problem statement. You need 210,000 naira. Now, the unique value proposition should come next. Okay, I have noticed that in this place where I want to get my shop, there are only two granaries that are there, and they are always having a queue. So I believe this if I cite my granary there, I'm going to find customers. Team capability, your own. So far, you are going to be the one that is starting the business even before you have a staff. What is your own capability? Maybe your parents, or you have lived with someone, or you have had a boss that have been working as, or you had experience running a granary. I'm like, oh, I have been running a granary for the past 2 years. Make it, just state it up front. And then financial projections, I project that in the next 12 months I'm going to be earning this much in daily cash flow. Very interesting, very short. So then you go back to your first sentence. I need 210,000 naira to make this happen. And that is how to make a pitch. So practice it, talk to your brothers, talk to friends, talk to people around you. And if you can do that, then you can talk to investors and bank officers. Okay. While we wait for Mr. John, I'll just go on with um what happens when, after all the pitching, after you've done your business plan and shown it around, you get you maybe not you may not even get a loan. um Maybe they just say, okay, try and keep in touch with me, or something like that. Um you need to keep up a relationship with your investors. You need to continue to have a rapport with them. Either they are family or they are formal investors. Keep up a relationship with them. Try and go to where you can find them, or when you go out and you meet them, strike up a conversation. Remind them of yourself, because many of those people, you are not the only person they have met, or you're not the only person like in their radar. Remind them of yourself. Oh, good afternoon. Uh, my name is Olarike. I was the one that came to you for a 200,000 naira uh, investment for a granary. Remind them of yourself. Um, go to where you can find them, right? Then talk with them. When you happen to have some information about them, maybe on social, if they, let's say, if they advertise their post on social media, comment, like, right? Because it's very important to build long term. It's very important to build long term long-term relationship with investors, because people will only give. Okay, let me ask you. Let me give you this challenge. Try and put yourself in the shoes of an investor. Would you not give money, let's say even loan money to someone you just met for the first time? You probably would not, no matter how small the money is. You would not. But if you have met someone over and over again, there is going to be a sense of familiarity. There's going to be a sense of, oh, I know this person. Okay, I think I can entrust this amount of money with this person. I think I can entrust this person with this money. So you need to be able to have and maintain a relationship with your investors even before they invest. It's not a one time thing. It's not, you don't just hit up someone for money and then you expect that, oh, they write me a check immediately, or they'll just wire me money immediately. So you have to keep up with them. Some of these conversations to uh to invest runs over several contacts. There are times you are going to meet this person even in a social gathering, and they'll be like, uh, "Oh, that's business idea you talked about. Have you thought of, instead of owning a thresher and a grinder, what about if you own a reaper and a thresher?" And then you have to reiterate, and then you talk and be like, oh, okay, okay. And then the person goes and they don't say anything again until you meet months or weeks later, and then you continue the conversation. And yeah, it happens like that. So don't be discouraged if and when, because it's going to happen, when you talk to investors and they don't reply in the, even family investors, even your parents, even when they have the money and you're like, okay, I need this amount of money to, they may not give you immediately. They probably look at you and be like, is this person serious? Let's wait and see how it goes. So don't be in a rush. Don't be frustrated. Don't be disappointed. Just keep at it, and you're going to get funding at a point. So, Mr. John,
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, man. It's very important to stay in place with your investors to know to um encourage repeat business. Thank you so much, ma. Please, if you have questions, please drop your questions for our able lecturer. We'll address each question in the comment section as soon as possible. So because of time, we'll be entering into an other interactive session today with one of our grant experts. I know many people love grants, to write grants. I know personally speaking, I've written some grants here and there. I didn't get one. So, especially when it comes to businesses, I know you want to get that grant, you want to get that funding necessary to hit your business. So, today we're having one of our amiable speakers by the name of Divine Love Akam. She's an expert when it comes to grant writing, and I'm sure if you pay keen attention, you will get lots of value, and you will come back next time and be like, thank you very much, I got a lot. So please, let's welcome Divine Love Akam. You're welcome, man. Nice having you with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, John. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you very much for this session, and good evening to everyone. I trust that we are all well, and Merry Christmas in advance. Yeah, Christmas is just 2 days from now. So Merry Christmas in advance, and thank you, Olarike, for the session. Thank you for the information shared. So actually going to be speaking on applying and winning grants or funding opportunities. There are lots of funding opportunities out there for your business, for agribusinesses and other businesses, although we are focusing on agribusinesses. So there are lots of opportunities out there, but you need the right information, you need the right skill set to um find them and of course win them. So it's one thing to find and another thing to be successful in winning the grant. So these are different aspects of mastering grants. I don't know if you could share the slide, John, or should I do that?
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm talking on mastering grants and winning business funding. So I know there'll be some lot of question. How do I apply for grant, or how do I win grant, win a grant or or a funding opportunity? Yeah. So for me, I would start with saying um grant grant writing or applying for grant is a skill. Applying for a funding opportunity, it's a skill. So you need the right research skill. You could move to the second slide or to the third slide actually. Um, you need to develop a very good research skill because finding information and utilizing the information you found is very important. So as a business or as a person, you should know your sector or your particular um problem you are solving. So you should understand your business and the needs of your business. Understanding your business will tell you, okay, this is the type of grant I need. This is what I need at this point in my business. So if you are into poultry and let's say you are dealing in um rearing of chickens or let's say eggs, so you need the kind of grant that would enable you support that business, let's say in terms of capital to provide to buy equipment to stock up your poultry farms, and also maybe capital to buy those inputs that you need for your poultry business. So you should understand your business. That will tell you what type of grant you need to search and apply for. And then you also need to, of course, find and identify the right grant opportunity that you need to apply. And it's also important because there are so many grant opportunities that would be attractive for you to apply. You also need to track your findings. So if you find, let's say, two or three grants, you should have a place where you can keep them in your system, or in just somewhere to track them. So you could have like an Excel spreadsheet where you list out this grant in order of priority. It could be deadlines, maybe one has an early deadline than the other, so you should track them. And also leverage online platforms. So if you could follow some online informations or news platform, you could also identify those grant that are available even ahead of time. So you could plan ahead, and also you could monitor some funding opportunities or funding organizations that give out grant. We have USADF, we have GAIN, we have so many organizations that work to provide grants for agribusinesses in particular. And those are just few ways you could develop your research skill. So another question could be, what are the strategies that you could use to ensure that you meet the eligibility requirement? Because all grant funding opportunities have eligibility criteria. So you need to know ahead of time. What I do personally is once I see an opportunity, the first thing I do after I maybe do a scan of the opportunity, I check the eligibility criteria to know if I'm actually eligible, because it makes no sense when you start an application and at the end of the day you realize that you're not even eligible for this opportunity. So it's always better to start ahead of time to look at the eligibility criteria. Are you really eligible to apply for this grant? Do you have the needed documents? Do you have the qualifications needed? Some grants would tell you you need to provide your registration document, you need to provide your tax document, you need to provide some document that shows your financial management document or something that shows that this is actually your business and this is what you have been up to, most especially for businesses that are existing businesses. If you're a startup, you might not have that, but you could have a forecast of your financials. So what your business would likely um, get in terms of finances for 2 3 years. You could have that as a forecast. And you also need to read the FAQs. So there are some questions that has already been answered based on what has been ongoing in the application. So they answer some questions, so you could read and see if you actually meet those criteria. It's very important because some people qualify for let's say 5 out of 16s, and the sixth one not they would not really meet up the application criteria if they miss out on one, especially for grant funding that are very strict on meeting the eligibility criteria. And lastly, I would say set your reminders and mark deadlines, so you could break out your applications into different timeline. So you start with the first stage and you move on to the next. So, but at the end, you're trying to make sure that you meet the deadline, considering the different time zones of the applications. Yeah. So, John, you could go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much, ma. So, concerning this question, concerning writing of grants, how can agri businesses effectively, articulate their unique selling points to stand out in a competitive grant application process? Because when we're talking about grants, a lot of people are seeing these grants. So, how can a particular agribusiness, effectively articulate, what makes them unique in order for them to be able to stand out in all these grant application processes?
Okay, thank you very much, John. Yeah, unique selling point. That's like the major aspect of your applications, aside the information section where you have to fill your details, your business details and all that. This is actually the point where you have to sell yourself. So there are different questions that could be asked, different format of the questions that could be asked on your unique selling point. But generally the idea is to sell yourself. The idea is to give put your best foot forward. So you have to give them reason, convince them to pick you, to select it, because there are lots of applications, there are lots of applicants that are going to be reviewing. So why should they choose you? Why should they really give you this funding? That's the question you should ask yourself. So you have to really be deliberate in answering those questions, and you have to give it your best shot. So the unique selling point is the unique selling points should start. Most times the questions are around the problem you're trying to solve. So as a business, of course, you are trying to be profitable, but at the end of the day, making profits stems from solving a problem. So there should be um the idea that you are trying to apply with for the grant should solve a real problem. So you should understand the problem you're trying to solve. If possible, you should have the right data. or quantify this problem. You should also give a clear solution. How is your business solving this problem? So you should effectively mention how your business is solving this problem. So if you're in the poultry value chain, you're into chicken or rearing of chicken or frozen chicken, so the problem could be that um access to live chicken is very difficult. People um are in the price of chicken in the market is high. Frozen chicken is also a challenge because of poor um electricity. So the price of frozen chicken is also high. So the problem you're solving is access to um affordable live chicken, so people can easily afford this chicken, and you're solving that particular problem. So you're the solution you are providing is access to affordable live chicken, and that way people can enjoy eating live chicken instead of frozen chicken and can buy it affordably. Yeah, so you should solve a real problem. You should articulate your solution clearly, and also the impact that um, your solution is going to provide for both in terms of job creation, in terms of environmental benefits, and all of that. So, for example, you said in the slide, it could be that your business is leveraging precision irrigation technology to reduce water consumption by 40%. And this addresses critical water scarcity issues in rural farming communities. So you have mentioned the problem of that water consumption, to reduce water consumption by 40%, and that 40% is a statistics that measures this problem. And also you are addressing critical water scarcity issues in rural communities with your irrigation technology. That's the solution you have. So that's an example. And also, another point is highlight the innovation in your business, because there are more than there are different business ideas already existing that might be solving the problem you are solving. So you should highlight why your business is different. What is the difference in your business? What is the innovation your business is bringing to the table? What is the technology that you are adding to your business to make it more efficient and more effective in solving the problem? Another point is to align your solution. Align your business with the grant priorities. So if the grant is focused on empowering women, you could highlight your business idea to emphasize on that aspect, because that will make them understand that you are actually aligning with their objectives or their goals. Every grant opportunity have an objective, so they want to also achieve their objective as well as fund you. So you should try as much as possible to align your business idea with their own objective. So you have to find that and you have to use it. It might not be clear, but you have to actually look through the application requirement and see how you fit in. And another very important aspect of unique selling point is traction. I know that some businesses will say, okay, I'm just starting, I have the idea, I don't have anything, but this is also very important. Some grants actually fund startups, but it's always good to at least test your idea, no matter how small it is. Someone asked a question about what is minimum viable product. Yeah, so minimum viable product is something that validates your solution, so the problem you are trying to solve. So it's you have early adopters of your solution, so customers that have tested or tried. It might not be 100% correct in the beginning, but at least there's a testament to what you are doing, and you could state that in your application, and it gives the grant organization an understanding of what your business is and the solution you are bringing. So it's also important to have that. If you have that, it's also very important to use it and to use it well. Traction is might be difficult, especially if it costs if it requires funding initially, but you have to maybe save up some money, or try as much as possible to just have something that could be that you could sell yourself with, a that could show or prove to anyone reading your application that this actually works. That's what they want to see. They want to see that this works, or they want to see that you've actually tried this, someone has actually used this and have a positive report from using your solution. So it's very important. Another point is scalability and sustainability. So anybody that's giving you funding will want to see how you are going to use that fund to grow your business, how you're going to use that fund to scale up your business in either enter new market, or get build on new product, or add more features to your business. Sustainability in the sense that they want to see that even after the funding has been exhausted, your business is still there. Like, it's not like once the money given to you is exhausted, the business closes down. No, they want to see how you are able to sustain that business even after the end of the the grant funding. So these are important aspects of the unique selling point. Also, team expertise. So you should use the right team, so that have the right skills and expertise to grow your business, because you're also going to ask questions in that light. Do you have the right people? Do you have the right people that will get this idea to life, and that will push your business to growth? Other important unique selling point is, for me, I see that it's very important to tell a story. That's where traction is also important. You could have experienced it. Maybe the problem you're trying to solve is something that you experienced some time ago. So you could tell a story. You could tell your story, or tell someone else's story. You might not have experienced it directly, but someone has experienced it close to you, or just someone has experienced what you're trying to solve. So you should be able to tell that as a story. Is when you tell a story, it brings about this compassion, or there is this connection it brings to whoever is reviewing your application, and it's very important. um yeah, so I think that's it for that. John?
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. Concerning grants, there are some mandatory questions that are usually asked. So, how do we approach those mandatory questions, please?
Okay, so yeah, from my experience, every application have different questions. So but some will tell you this is a required question. Some might say answer all questions, or they might not even say anything, but they expect you to answer the question. So as long as you see that you have to answer some mandatory questions or required question, it could be differentiated by asterisks or something like that, but you just know that you have to answer those questions. And if failure to answer those questions might reduce some points to your application, at least. So it's always important and to understand the question that is asked. So yeah, so if you have one of two, three, four mandatory questions, you would need to understand, because they might all have connections. Like question one, question two, question three might all be related, but they are trying to achieve different things. So you should be able to understand what each question is trying to achieve, so that way you can be able to answer correctly. Your answers should be engaging, so it should because those questions are very important. They might have very high marks. So your answers should be very engaging. It should be clear, it should be simple, it should be concise, but also compelling. So whoever is reading it would really get the message you're trying to pass across. Um, you should also be solution driven. Yeah. So because most of these grant application questions are trying to get to know more about your solution, know more about your business idea. So you should emphasize on the solution that you are trying to solve. You should also emphasize on solving pain points. So pain points are those problems that your business has noted and is trying to solve. So you should hammer on those pain points and tell them that this is actually what my business is trying to solve. And that way they'll see the legitimacy of your business, the importance of of your business in solving that particular problem. So another important tip could be to attempt any optional questions. So yes, the focus is on mandatory questions, quite all right, but if there are optional questions, they are asking those questions maybe just to get to have more information about you as a person, about your business, about your experience and all that. It's also good to give it an attempt at least. It might not add more marks to you, but it still builds the connection that the application or the reviewer is trying to see how to connect with you and your business. Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. I know they usually say before you answer a question, those days I need to know, understand the question first of all before you go ahead with it. So concerning
Mhm.
still on this question part, concerning grant application, I know that they are very, very strict with it because anything that involves money, people will surely be strict about it. Me, say, if I want to give
Mhm.
money like 20 million, eh, you will
Mhm.
give me your next of skin birth registration, you give me. So, so why is strict adherence to grant application instructions very important? And what are the most common like mistakes, compliance mistakes to avoid? Because it's easier when we know mistakes to avoid, it'll be easier for us to avoid. Like you said, don't go through this road because of this. It's easier for us to avoid it. So why is it important to strictly adhere to all these questions, the instructions, and what are the compliance mistakes that we need to avoid?
Okay. Thank you for the question. Yeah, so instructions, following instructions or adhering to instructions is very, very important because you could um um save yourself some unexpected result or um result from your application if you go ahead to go against the instructions. So it's always good to read through instructions and understand the instructions and follow through with the instructions. So, for example, some errors could be they say, right, explain your business, explain the problems your business is trying to solve. So, and you write down the point you want to articulate in answering the question. You have to read through your response. You have to avoid grammatical errors. That's one of it. You have to make sure that your sentence makes sense and it has to have a logical flow. So if someone is reading your application or your response, it should flow from one sentence to another sentence, so there should not be an abrupt break in your sentence. So it's because that flow gives an understanding to whoever is reading your application details. So it's good to avoid those kind of errors, grammatical errors. So you should at least have. There are so many ways to review your responses to avoid those errors, those spelling errors, and all of that. So it's always important to review your answers and answer correctly, and also follow question prompts. So some application could give you an idea of what they are looking from you to answer. So they could say, what's the problem you're trying to solve? Give um, detailed information with respect to statistics, geography, and all of that. So they want you to mention the stats that relate to the problem you are solving. So you have to give a real description of your business problem, and write some statistics that justify that. So you have to follow those question prompts because there's a reason why they asked it in the first place. So it's good to, if there are prompts to help you answer the question, it's good to follow that prompt because that is what they're going to be looking out for when they're reading your application. So, and another point is adhere to guidelines. So they could say in 250 words maximum, in 500 words maximum, answer this question. You have to follow that rule. If you write above that, you might end up losing some points. So no matter how good your answers are, it's always good to make sure that they fall within the word limit. And also maybe there could be formatting rules, it could be 2 lines spacing or all of that. This is something you have to adhere to no matter what. And emphasize on key details in your responses. So if they're asking you a specific question, try as much as possible to emphasize on that. Don't beat around the bush and give the answer in the last paragraph or second to last paragraph. You should start from the first paragraph. They should understand the answer that you are providing from the beginning, not in the middle, because some of them might not even read up to the middle and lose interest. So it's always important to emphasize key details on time. And if there are any application samples, you could read through to see how those applications that were submitted previously were done. So you could have a good idea of how to submit your own application. And some organizations provide application webinars or question and answers where you can ask questions or learn from others that have done that before. So it's also a way to provide yourself with more information on how to adhere to whatever instructions that the application comes with. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much, ma. Just reminded me of something. One of my mentors like make sense in time. The grant is not what you say. Okay, I have. There's one inspiration that is dropping. There's one inspiration. Let me add extra
Mm.
2 lines or 3 lines or 5 lines. All
Mm.
this. It's really,
Yeah.
really. Thank you so much. So, we'll ask, please, if you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. We'll attend to it. And a lot of value being dished out here. No, even in agriculture, for example, because we're an agri-tech business company, agri-tech company. When it comes to agriculture, there are best practices in cultivation, best practices in irrigation, best practices even in tech application of technology, even AI that is really now. So, with regards to writing of grants and grant applications, what are the best practices for ensuring a smooth and successful submission of grant applications?
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so after you have found the application, you have provided answers, the next thing is to submit. Yeah, so that's also an important step. But before you submit, you have to review your application. You could review more than once. You could ask someone to help you review if you have someone that is good or that can help out in that area. You could review application more than once, like, because when you are reviewing the application, you can find some errors that you did not see initially. So it's good to review and double check if you completely answer the question. So you might miss out on some important details initially, but when you review, you could see if there are things you missed out and ensure that you fill in the gap. And it's always good to submit early. Yeah, which is why it's important to have a, an application tracker. So you track your application, you monitor or list out the applications that you have to apply to, and then you and ensure that you submit before the deadline. Most times, due to the different time zones, you could think that there is more time, but when you I think I've had that experience. So I think it was a different time zone. So when I was about to apply, um it was closed because the time zone was not same with my time zone. So I think I missed out on applying for that particular application. So it's always good to know the time zone that the application is based on and convert it to your time zone and make sure that you don't miss the timeline or the deadline. So it's good to submit early anyways, because most times there could be technical glitch if you are on the late hour submission, maybe um due to technical problems, you're not able to submit even when you are very ready to submit. So it's always good to submit early and to submit the required documents. So there are some applications that will need you to submit different documents or attached documents to validate your application. It's good to submit the right document. If you are not sure of document, you could send an email to ask them to be sure that you are submitting the right documents, and follow the submission rules. If you are asked to submit via email, you submit through that method. If the application is online, you fill the form and all of that, and that's fine and good, but make sure that whatever rules of submission is given, you follow that. So I think these are some application submission rules. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. The final question from our end. When our former speaker, based on source of fund, they spoke about relationship. It enables us to access funds based on what she said, and also encourage repeat businesses. So, how can this relationship, like building relationship with all these funding organizations and stakeholders, improve an agribusiness's chance of securing grants? Does it building relation? Does it have any role to play at all?
Of course, yeah. So there is need for relationships even aside of business. Generally, there's always the good use of relationships. You could have access to more information, exclusive information. You could have access to more details to help you succeed. So yes, relationship is very important, especially in this aspect also. So for your business, whether you're a startup, whether you're an existing business, whether you have um actually scaled up your business, it's good to keep building relationships, nurture existing relationships, and build new relationships. So some ways you could do that is to ask questions. So there's some information that would not be outrightly put out there, but if you ask the right questions to the right person or to the right organizations, you could get that information. um so another one is to send emails or respond to emails. So for example, I said previously that if you're not sure of the application rules, you could email them. Most of these applications have emails you could reach out to ask questions. So it's good to, if you're not sure of some things, you ask. That way you are building relationship, because you are at least there's a response to you ask and they respond. So that's another way to build relationship with the application, the grant funding organization. So and also you respond to emails that are being sent to you. Don't ignore emails sent to you. If there is a follow-up email after you submit the application, it is also good to respond to those emails. Don't ignore them, because you could by ignoring them, they might not email you again or something. So it's just good to respond to whatever emails that are being sent to you after your application or before your application. So it's good to respond to those emails. So also it gives you access to exclusive opportunities, like I said. So if you are following industry events or organizations that are providing grant for businesses, you could have access to these exclusive opportunities or information ahead of time and take advantage of it. And also by There's also the need to build credibility. So um, if you are into an agribusiness, you could um, by partnering with other agribusinesses or other people in the agricultural sector, other stakeholders, you could build your credibility. And for example, when you are applying to a grant funding opportunity, you could make that as a statement because they want to see how credible you are, how have you built your business over the years if you are an existing business. So you could mention possible partnerships that that you have ongoing or that you are going to build on by reason of the grant. So they want to see how you are able to leverage other stakeholders in the agricultural sector or in the sector to see how you forge ahead in your business. So it's always important to um, have this partnership in place or propose propose to have a partnership in place in your business. That way they see that you are leveraging collaboration with other agricultural businesses. So it's not just you alone. They are seeing the effort you are going to make to build on other existing agricultural businesses. So it's very important to show that. Another point is you can prepare and submit supplementary documents. So there could be some more information that is required after submitting the previous document. So you can provide those documents if you are being asked to submit. Don't say I've submitted all the documents required, so I'm not going to submit this. They want more information from your business, and that would determine if you get the grant or not. So you have to submit those supplementary documents that are being asked by the grant funding organization. Okay, then I think I've mentioned leverage partnerships and networks. So this is a way to build relationships. So there are so many other agri businesses you could use their platform, you could use their solution to help your business, or just find a connection between your business and other businesses and use it. So it's not it I know the problem we have in this part of the world is um if you the thought that if you partner with other business, you're only helping that business to succeed. No, you're actually helping your business as well. So it's not just you alone. You have to work with other people, other stakeholders, and thrive. Yeah, so that's one problem we have in this part of the world. But we have to ignore those things and try as much as possible to leverage partnership. And the last is to seek feedback. So yeah, not all applications that you submit will be successful. So that's something you should have in the front and back of your mind. So yeah, but that notwithstanding, if you get the rejection email, you can still email them back and say thank you for the opportunity, um thank you for taking the time to read the applications and all of that. So it's not like once they reject the application, you cut off communication and all that. No, because by responding back or by giving feedback, or you could even ask them, okay, what areas do I need to improve in my application, or what areas need improvement in my application, so that by next time or next year when the application comes out, you can know which area to focus on. So you also learn from your past applications, the feedback that are given to you, you refine your application, and of course, you have to reapply. You don't stop applying because you didn't get the application, or you cut off communication, or cut off relationships because it didn't work out in the first attempt. It might work out in the second attempt, and that's where consistency comes in. That's where resilience comes in. So make sure that you win the grants. Your first grant application might not be successful. The second, the third, the fourth might not be successful, but it could be successful in the tenth attempt. You never know if you don't get to that point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma. I know we've gotten a lot of value a lot. Just quickly, I'm adding our first speaker back with us. There's a question that we have. Welcome, welcome, ma'am. Um, there's a question we have. I want to get your feedback on it. And the question is, can you start or run an agribusiness with zero capital? Is it possible to start and run an agribusiness with zero capital, like no money, like I don't have money, I just have it in my head? Can it happen?
Yeah, I believe so, right? But for what you lack in money, you have to make up for in other adding or value addition skills. You need to have the knowledge that other players in the field are requiring for. You need to have the connections. Now, when we talk about connections, many people think about connections in terms of connections to maybe wealthy, influential people. No, connections to just people that another business may have need of. Connections to suppliers, connections to contractors, connections to or connections with even customers. If you run a referral program, like you can run a referral or marketing outfit where you market somebody else's product to somebody else. You can run a logistics referral if you have the information for maybe truck drivers. Somehow you are somehow able to get maybe a large number of drivers or a large number of contractors, and anybody can just call you and be like, oh, I need somebody to do this thing for me by this time at this rate, and you can make the connections for them. They pay you your own your service charge, and everybody is happy. So yeah, you can actually run and you can start. Of course, maybe to run and expand, you're going to need capital at some point, but to start an agribusiness, yes, I believe so. Like Kitovu has we have the app that's yield max, right? And we have agents who use these applications to work with farmers. They can map other farmers' land. They can they can how do I say that? Communicate advisory from yield max to the farmer. They can help the farmer to just like be like an agent between Kitovu and the farmers. And you don't need an inventory for that, right? Divine. You don't need a lot of capital for that. What you need is just maybe a smartphone and access to data. And of course connections
Yeah.
with partners. So I think that's like an example of that.
Yeah, and to add to that, yes, I know most people will say I don't have the capital to start, but most times, even if they are given the capital to start, the business doesn't still survive. So capital is still not the like it's like capital is important, but there are also some important skills you should have or important connections you should have as well as having capital. So like Olarike mentioned, at Kitovo, we try as much as possible to provide opportunities for youth in the agricultural sector to encourage more youth into the sector. So one of the products we have is in rural locations or in remote locations, and we need to get information or get data from those farmers. So you could join um or leverage on this particular product, and from wherever you are, you don't have to be based in the same location the company is based. Wherever you are, you could leverage on this product and get this information and earn from it. So you have connection to farmers where you are. So we need this information, and using our application, you get this information, and you are being paid a commission for that particular service. So it's one way to earn from the agricultural sector, and also to start an agricultural business as well. So we also have the Storage X platform that is looking to is providing solutions with respect to providing storage for farmers. So farmers have the problem of um, farming, harvesting, and selling. So they don't actually store their produce because of lack of storage or poor storage access. So with our storage platform, you could connect farmers to this storage platform and earn from it as well. We also have the e-procure platform that is involved in buying and selling of commodities. So the linkage you provide with linking of farmers and linking farmers to um, buyers is also another good way to make money. So these are platforms or products that we have existing that one could leverage on and earn from it as well. So if you need more information on this product, you could send us an email and info@kitovu.com.ng to get more information. And of course, it would be good to be part of what we are doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. So I can just make money by being a middleman, and all these services, the procure service, the yield mark service or reject service is just available to me like that.
Sure. Yeah.
So in 2025, if you don't have money on your own, I think this is quite a very, very eye-opening thing. It's not a thing, it's an opportunity. Let me be very, very careful with my words. It's a very, very eye-opening opportunity that everyone should hold on to. We have three services that you can, capture for free: the e-procure, the storage X, and the yield max. Thank you very much, man. It's an honor having you with us. A lot of value have been dished. I'm going to miss you people these few times you will not be with me on YouTube right now.
Thank you.
Please have a wonderful
Thank
Thank
time.
you.
you,
Have a wonderful
John.
time. Thank you very much. All right. You have me with you again. Once again, I'm John Martins, and thank you for being with us. But before we go, we want to have a quick talk from our COO, the Chief Operating Officer of Kitovu, with Wale for you, ma. Thank you for being with us, and it's nice to have you with us, ma.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone. I'm really excited that, we are finally coming to the end of Jobs in Agriculture. It's been a long journey from November 15th till now. So I'm really super excited. I think I'm like the most excited person here that we are coming to an end of this cohort. So I just feel like, shouting, jumping and doing something exciting. And I really want to appreciate, okay, let me start with appreciating John. John has really been he's been wonderful. He's been doing a good job, and yeah, and then I want to appreciate every facilitator that has come in, every lecturer that has shared. Let me start from the just concluded session from Divine and Olarike. It's really been a great session. Like I've learned a lot from you guys, and I want to say a very big thank you to you. I also want to say thank you to every lecturer that has lectured, from the business class to the financial classes, the branding class. Every single class that we had has been quite inciting and quite impactful. I know one of the things that has actually made me excited about this is not just that we are able to have jobs in agriculture, but because jobs in agriculture has been impactful. So that's one thing. I watched some of the testimonial videos and got some messages from the participants, and it's really exciting that this program is able to impact the lives of young people. Many people have gotten passion for agriculture, they've gotten direction, and it's really something exciting that we're able to do this to add value to the lives of people. So thank you, everyone. Even as they're rounding this session, the cohort here, they're rounding the cohort for today. The first cohort today. And also, we're also coming towards the end of the year. There is no better way to end the year than to end it like this with every one of us joining this call and everyone who has been a part of the Jobs in Agriculture team. I want to say very big thank you to us for everything we've done so far. And just like everybody has talked about the mentorship sessions and Kitovu's product, I want to add to our products and services. Every single service, every single product that has been talked about on the call and even before this call now, they have been designed to enable us to, make money, yes, and also get value, to be of value to the society, and then also to make money for ourselves. I want to encourage us. Feel free to reach out to us on info@kitovu.com.ng. You can send us an email at Kitovu Jobs in Agriculture at gmail.com, so that you can be able to get to know more about the jobs in agriculture. If you're interested in joining the next cohort, and believe me, if you interact with anyone that has been a part of this cohort, it's been quite a great one for them. If you need to interact with any of them too, you can also reach out to us. We'll be able to interact with some of our participants to get to know the value that they got from the course. Feel free to send us an email, and we can also share their contacts with you. I'm sure they'll be privileged to do that too. Right. Then also concerning our products and services, we've mentioned Yield Max, Storage X, eProcure. Feel free to interact with. As one of the things they're trying to do through the jobs in agriculture is to enable young people to start their own business with zero inventory. So we are giving you the leverage of Kitovu's platform. So you can leverage our platform, you can leverage our networks, you can leverage the partnerships that we have established to be able to start your own. So you don't have to start thinking now, one of our speakers was talking about speaking to investors or communicating with them. So you don't really have to go through those stress again. All you need to do is to leverage the opportunity that we have at Kitovu. You can apply for the mentorship. I know Mr. John has talked about it before, but I just want to talk about it again. You can apply for the mentorship by sending an email to Kitovu Jobs in Agriculture at gmail.com. The reason why we needed to apply for it is for us to be sure that this is really what you want to do and you want to be committed to it. And also, this information is only for those who participated in the first cohort. If you did not participate in the first cohort, you can wait for the next cohort, which will be coming up next year, for you to be able to enjoy these privileges. These privileges I mentioned is for those who have participated in the first cohort. Apply for the mentorship, take advantage of Kitovu's services. You can send us an email, you can chat us up on WhatsApp. Just feel free to leverage this. And in closing, I want to say that Kitovu is really dedicated to impacting the lives of young people in Africa and globally, because there's a wide gap in the agricultural sector. There's an increase in food insecurity, and we have a large population of young people. In order for us to close the gap in food insecurity, we need to empower more young people, and that is why we're having these jobs in agriculture. It's not really for us to. I've seen some of us asking questions whether we are going to give them jobs. The essence of the call is not for us to give you jobs, for us to equip you, to empower you, so that you can be able to start solving the problems of food insecurity in your country, in your region. And so we are open, our emails are open. You can send us emails, you can chat us up. We are here to support you through the journey, through the entrepreneurial journey. Whether you are seeking to start your own business after this course, or you are seeking to partner with other businesses, or you want to be mentored by Kitovu or work closely with Kitovu, we are open to guide you through the process. So thank you so much once again. Let me check. I don't think I'm missing anything. Is there anything I'm missing, John? Is there anything you want me to talk about?
No, I think everything has really, really been covered. Everything.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone. We've all been wonderful, and thank you once again, John. You've really done a very nice job, and I'm really proud
Thank
of
you.
you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. This is Kitovu Jobs in Agriculture. Please do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and Instagram and even on LinkedIn, so that you can be up to date when the next cohort is starting. Because a lot of opportunities will be dished out. A lot of opportunities will be dished out. Seriously, this is it's like let me not be selfish. I would say it's too free to be true. You understand? So please subscribe on our YouTube, follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter, and even on LinkedIn, so that you'll be up to date on every single opportunity and when the next cohort will be starting next year. Thank you for being with us, and we appreciate. Have a beautiful, beautiful end of the year, a beautiful Christmas season. and remain safe and remain blessed. See you. Bye bye.